colleagues from the Customs Department, my colleagues, past residents, members of the chamber, members of the press, good evening to you all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this interactive session on trade facilitative measures taken by customs, including Athithi 2.0 and other initiatives. I am delighted to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Dhananjay, IRS Head of Customs Coimbatore International Airport, who has graciously accepted our invitation to address the members of the chamber. Dr. Dhananjay is a civil servant belonging to the Indian Revenue Service (IRS) in the Ministry of Finance, Government of India, and is presently posted as the Head of Customs at the Coimbatore International Airport. Prior to this assignment, he served in the Ministry of Finance at North Block, New Delhi, and as Deputy Commissioner in the GST Department at Vadodara, Gujarat, besides holding several other important positions. A distinguished professional, he is the Chevening Gurukul Fellow for Leadership and Excellence at Oxford University, UK. He has been awarded the World Customs Organization Certificate of Merit by the World Customs Organization, headquartered in Brussels, Belgium, for rendering exceptional service to the international customs community, and also received the Commendation Certificate from the Ministry of Finance, Government of India on the occasion of Goods and Service Tax Day. His academic credentials, including a PhD from IIT Kanpur, an MBA as a gold medalist, and BTech with high first class. He is of indigenous manufacturing. He is passionately committed to fostering a vibrant startup culture in India through a robust entrepreneurial ecosystem and sustainable manufacturing and supply chain framework. His articles on economy and finance have been published in leading national finance publications such as Business Standard, The Hindu Business Line, Financial Express, and Business Today. He is also an avid nature lover and actively contributes to civil society organizations and NGOs working in the fields of biodiversity and environmental conservation. Customs plays a vital role in facilitating international trade while ensuring regulatory compliance and national security. In recent years, several initiatives have been introduced to simplify procedures, reduce transaction cost, enhance transparency, and improve the ease of doing business for exporters, importers, and travelers. We are therefore eager to learn more about the various trade facilitation measures being implemented by customs, including the Athithi 2.0 initiative and other stakeholder-friendly reforms. Dr. Dhananjay will tell us more about the Athithi 2 mobile application in his speech. I am confident that today's interaction will provide valuable insights to our members. I encourage all members to actively participate in the discussions and make use of this opportunity to clarify the queries and understand the latest developments in customs procedures and facilitation measures. On behalf of the Chamber, I once again extend a hearty welcome to Dr. Dhananjay, IRS, and to all the members present here. We look forward to an enlightening evening and productive session. Thank you.
So, good evening, everybody. So, it's my pleasure to interact with all of the esteemed members of this very nice and having a very good history. Started in 1929 by the then finance minister of the country. 1929?
1929, sir.
Yes.
India's first finance minister.
Yeah, it was started by the first finance minister, Mr. Shanmugam Shetty.
Yes.
So So it's my proud privilege to address the members of this organization, the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Coimbatore. So I would request all the members uh, to have an interactive session. So my purpose will be to cover the aspects of some of the declarations which are meant for foreign travelers when you're traveling on foreign tour. So whatever are the enhancements in the applications which are all online today. So it will be beneficial from the point of view of your uh, compliances, which will reduce your effort and it will avoid entering into any kind of legal aspects. So that will be my objective. So this one, the application that has been deployed, uh, the application that has been deployed for basically declaring the baggages. So when you are traveling abroad or coming back to India after your travel abroad, so you need to declare some aspects related to your baggages and other aspects of currency or any precious items that you come with. So these are all regulations which are all across the world. So customs is basically internationally oriented function. So India's customs cannot stand alone. So all the regulations are agreed by different countries under the framework of World Customs Organization. So all the regulations that India also implements, you will find in other countries. So the one of the latest additions on the declarations, because you would remember from your earlier journeys that you have done abroad that there are some paper documents that you have to fill when you arrive. So those things are also existing in case people want to access that also. But to ease the declarations of the different aspects, so the mobile applications have already been launched. So the name of the mobile application is Athithi. Athithi means guest. So the Athithi applications can be accessible both on the for the Android users of mobile and for the other users also for iOS. So this will avoid you to this will avoid you to skip the to skip the queues. This will help you to skip the queues, and then you can declare 72 hours 72 hours before you board the flights in the international side. When you are abroad, when you are boarding the flight, even before 72 hours before you are boarding, you can start. The portal will be open for you. You can declare your baggage declaration. You can do your baggage declaration starting 72 hours before you board your flight, and and the portal will be open and the access will be open even after you land. If you want to change some declarations, it is not fixed in stone. You can change the declarations after you land also, until you cross the green channel or red channel. Red channel is basically when you have some dutiable items, so you need to declare and pay the required customs duties which are due to the government. And green channel is when there is no dutiable item or you don't have any declarations to make. So it's the green channel is meant for unhindered passage on arrival. So this is the image which you will get when you are logging into your Athithi. So Athithi application basically is meant when you are having your passport details, your ticket details. So basically it is meant for passengers who are actually genuine travelers. So you need to have some basic details. When you are traveling, you will have your passport, you'll have your ticket details, you have various other required details which are there for international travel. Those are the essential details which have to be declared, and it can be entered into the system, and then you can access all these details. For example, the main one of the main declarations is the baggage and currency declaration. So baggage and currency declaration basically is meant for declaring dutiable goods. So suppose as a traveler you are carrying some goods which are dutiable. So you can declare in the baggage and currency declarations. Basically, I'll be discussing it from the very simple point of view. We'll do away with the legal I mean very complexities. Will make it very simple so that any person who is traveling abroad or coming may find it very easy to declare. So our objective is to make it very simple so that everybody can use it, and you don't need to have a very big technical and legal background for that. So the first declaration, which is the most important declaration, which you can see in the slides, and slides have been specially prepared on the request of the association. So the one of the first thing is baggage and currency declaration. So baggage and currency declaration are basically meant for exceed when you are exceeding free allowance. We have a table also made. These slides will be shared to the members to the association. So there's a table made which is coming up in the slides. So about the free allowances, suppose the traveler is carrying within the free allowance, he need not declare anything. He need not log in. He can just pass through the green channel. But if the dutiable goods are exceeding the free allowance, we will discuss that, and then they need to declare foreign Indian currency. That also there is a limit. If it is exceeding the limit, then only there is a requirement to declare that. And the portal, as I said, opens 72 hours before arrival under the baggage rule. So the as you know, the foreign currency is also the record and upkeep is done by the Reserve Bank of India. So the customs declarations also interlinked with the RBI systems so that they can have a proper accounting of the foreign currencies. So the RBI regulations and the baggage rules, which was amended this year only, the latest ones have come this year in 2026. So based on those regulations, the declarations are done. That is a legal basis. But for a traveler, he needs to understand that there's a table coming up which will show that these are the free allowances. About that, the declarations will happen. So the second important thing, which I think every traveler should know, and I have had many instances wherein people from the region had come forward to me, which were genuine actually cases, but then they didn't know, and they had to face the other consequences. So the export certificate is basically meant for the situation when you are applying for, when you have to apply for export certificate for personal belongings intended for re-importation. Suppose you have personal belongings which you want to bring back again within 6 months. So 6 months is basically a very important time period. So most of the provisions where there is re-import, there are 6 months. 6 months is prescribed. So 6 months. If you want to bring it back, then there is a very relaxed framework, which is the export certificate meant for declaring for personal belongings which you want to bring within India, or it's also called re-import within India within 6 months. Then there is something called temporary import certificate. So you can apply for the temporary import certificate, which records high value personal effects brought temporarily into India for duty free import subject to re export within 6 months. So basically, 6 months is kind of a period wherein you can re-import and send back. So the pet import declaration is a very important thing which is coming up nowadays, because people also travel with pets. So the pets here are basically the dogs and cats. So the you can declare maximum of two pets being cats and dogs per passenger, at least 7 days before arrival. So please note that if you are traveling with pets, you need to declare at least 7 days before arrival, because the customs being the custodian of the allied acts also, because there are various other acts which customs administers. Being a frontline organization, it admits other acts, allied acts also. So the clearances from the animal quarantine are also required, because pets being living organisms, so animal quarantine clearances are required for the customs to allow them finally into India. So that is why it is mentioned that 7 days, and all this is all done online. So the portal is open and it can be declared online. You need not go to the animal quarantine department or their services. It will go through the system. Through the system, it will be transmitted to them, to the animal quarantine authorities, and they will grant the clearance on the system. It will get reflected on your login ID or on your portal. It will get reflected. So then there are crew declarations. These are basically not meant for you. It's meant for the crew who are who are running the flights. So transfer of residence is very important. Another very important beneficial provision. So transfer of residence is a relaxed regulation in which very less duties are levied and exemption limits are very high. So that is meant when the passenger or the traveler is transferring his residence from abroad into India. So filings by passengers, resident or tourist of Indian origin or foreigner with a valid visa other than tourist visa engaged in any profession in India. I find that there are German companies who are having manufacturing facilities in Coimbatore. There are other companies also, for example, other companies, other nationals who are working in India. So they are the people who can also transfer their residence. They are also applicable. They are also eligible for the benefits under this. So other than the tourist visa, other than those travelers, foreign travelers who are coming on tourist visa. So other Indian residents are always permissible if they want to transfer the residence from abroad to India. So this slide basically shows you the grab of the mobile app application. When you log into the mobile application, how does it look like? So the mobile application basically, if you when you log in, you will find all these icons. So baggage declaration, as we discussed, the baggage and currency declaration, export certificate, temporary import certificate, pet import declaration, crew declarations, not of direct concern to you, transfer of residence, then knowledge center and support, some amount of support, I mean some amount of FAQs and help is available. ATA carne, as you know, for industrial exhibition and all, when temporarily some machinery has to be brought into India, and so that is ATA carne, not for a traveler who is traveling abroad. So you can apply even for ATA carne certificates on this portal. So other aspects we'll discuss as we go on. So one of the points that I want to point out here is that passengers can modify their accompanied baggage details dynamically until the exact arrival time. So the declaration starts 72 hours before you board your flight, and it will keep, and the portal will be open to you till the exact arrival time. Till the arrival time, the portal will be open. It can be updated. Any declaration you want to update, you can very well update on your login ID on your access. You can very well do it online. And as we discussed, the advance filing start 3 days prior to arrival in India. So 3 days, 72 hours, you can start your declarations, and you can save it and finally submit it when you want to. So these are the main simple forms, and the main bread and butter form is this one, CBD1, Indian Customs Declaration accompanied. So basically, this is the form which is of direct concern to most of the travelers. So the Indian Customs, yeah. So this is the broad idea about the Indian Customs declaration form, and as we discussed, the name of the passenger, passport number, nationality, date of arrival, flight details, e-ticket number, PNR, and then you start declaring what you want. Then you start declaring what you want to declare. So value of goods other than used personal effects subject to duty assessment. Basically, we'll discuss the table of free allowances. Above that, only you need to declare. If it is below or reaching the threshold, you need not even access this portal. Are you carrying any pets? So if pets is applicable, then you can go ahead with that. And are you carrying any jewelry which is beyond satisfying daily necessities of life when beyond the prescribed special allowances for jewelry for eligible passenger? We'll discuss that also. So basically, this is the main form. Basically, most of the travelers are concerned with CBD1, Customs Baggage Declaration. CBD stands for Customs Baggage Declaration, and then so now we'll go to the second one. Second one is CBD2. CBD2 is basically the Customs Baggage Declaration 2 is meant for accompanied baggage declaration form for import unaccompanied. Basically, it is unaccompanied. So, in some situations, you may have traveled earlier, you may have arrived into India beforehand, and then your baggage arrives at a later date. So the regulations demand that you need to have a declaration, which is called unaccompanied baggage declaration. Basically, this is applicable across different countries, all countries. Basically, all these regulations are parameteria across different countries because all these are customs is basically internationally compliant function, so it is applicable across different countries. So whenever any country you travel or you have and the baggage is not accompanied with you when you are actually traveling, then you need to go ahead with unaccompanied baggage declaration. So this is also having the same details, almost the same details. And then you need to have the details of authorized person. In this case, because you are not traveling along with the baggage, some custom broker or some authorized agent would be handling your baggage declaration. So that is why there is a serial number 2 in which details of baggage, details of authorized person. So and baggage details, baggage. So baggage details. So baggage details, you can have baggage type, country of consignment, and port of shipment or loading, date of shipment of goods, whether availed TR in the past. TR is a short for transfer of residence. So whenever people talk about TR in the common parlance, it is basically meant for transfer of residence. Transfer of residence is when a traveler wants to shift his residence from abroad into India. So that allows many more allowances, free allowances, because it is meant for shifting of the residents to India. So there will be a lot of baggages, so that cannot be taxed at the full rate. So that is why there are a lot of free allowances in when you are going ahead with transfer of residence provisions, TR provisions. So why? Because why there is some record which is requested from the passenger is because what is the frequency of TR. So the frequency of TR means how many transfer of residence has happened in the past 3 years. So details of containers, you can have a look at this because the baggage is traveling through maybe air cargo or maybe sea. If it is a very huge consignment, so it can travel through sea containers. So all these details are required, which are there in serial number 3. Details of transport documents. We can go to the second page also. Second page detail in serial number 4, we have details of containers. Containers are meant basically for the sea travel, the seaport. So, these are the basic declarations which are required, and after that, the passenger or the traveler has it will declare online, and remaining things would be done online. So, we'll go back to the main CBD3. CBD3, as we discussed, is the export certificate. Export certificate basically within 6 months. The 6 months period is very important because if 6 months period gets expired, then there are full duties which may become applicable. So one has to be very much cautious about the time period of 6 months. Then all these exemptions are applicable. So the basic details remain the same, and then we can go to the CBD4 main slide. Temporary import certificate. The Again, if you are going in for temporary import with a condition of again 6 months period. So 6 months period, then you go to the all make the basic declarations: name, address abroad, address in India, passport number. As you know, in foreign travel is a very important document. Passport number. Then you go to the other declaration, page number 2, article details, and then you make the undertaking. The most important part is the serial number 3. I undertake to re-export the declared articles at the time of my departure from India. So basically, this is meant for those travelers who are traveling with some precious jewelry and maybe for marriage abroad, and then coming back, because to avoid the dispute at the time of coming back, it's always recommended to go ahead with online declaration of export certificate. So it is all to be done online. You can declare online that I have this precious jewelry which I am going, which I am taking abroad for whatever purpose. It's your jurisdiction, but then you declare it beforehand so that you can avail the benefit when you are coming back into India, and it does not enter into dispute. One of the final CBD forms are, this is a situation which can be avoided. So this is a situation when unintentionally or unknowingly the person probably could not make the declarations, or maybe may not be in a position to pay the applicable customs duties. Then the this procedure gets kicked in. So this is the detention receipt. Basically, detention basically means that when they go, when the traveler or the passenger is not able to comply with the regulations, and then not able to pay the duties, if it is undeclared and going through the red channel, then applicable penalties are also there. I mean, penalties are also applicable in addition to the custom duties. So this is a situation which should be avoided, because I myself saw a situation in which a very genuine passenger came with artifacts into India in Delhi, and I got a call at 2 a.m. at night, because the passenger is a very distinguished person, entrepreneur from the region, Coimbatore region, and he was coming in from London. And 2 a.m. at night, so the flight landed there, and then the antiques were being carried in the baggage, and not that he could have very well declared it. There's no question about that. The only thing is that the probably the declarations were not done due to maybe not being aware of it. And I'll discuss the antiques part also. There are some regulations which are required to be done. So because of that, the applicable duties and the show cause notices and all those got kicked in. So that could have been very well avoided, because he shared me a detention notice. Because after the detention notice, the legal process gets kicked in. All the process can be done before the detention notice. So we'll go to the main slide. Next one, please. So these are the 5 basic things. Actually, the 4 basic things. The 5th one is for the department. So next one, please. Next. So this is the green channel and the red channel. As you know, green channel, you have nothing to declare, you have no duty to bear, please go through the green channel. So, and red channel is when you have the declarations to make. For example, you have some dutiable items, you can declare. And then this is one of the main slides. So this gives the latest allowances, because the allowances have been increased by the 2026 amendments. So this gives the duty-free allowances and general allowances. Air oblique sea, both are same, and the passenger type, if it is Indian resident, overseas citizen of India, OCI, or non-tourist foreigner, rupees 75,000. So 75,000 is basically the general allowance. So one should remember that 75,000, up to 75,000, you need not go ahead with any kind of declaration. So it's green channel for you. So general allowance, air or sea, but this category is for tourist of foreign origin. So most of you may not be concerned, I mean, related to that. But if it is a tourist of foreign origin, then it is 25,000. Alcohol, all passengers, air or sea, 2 liters. Generally, it's 2 bottles which are there, 2 liters. And tobacco products, all passengers, air oblique sea, 100 cigarettes or 25 cigars or 125 gram of tobacco. These are all free allowances. And laptops, as you know, one new laptop is actually allowed. There is a lot of, people not being aware of it. But then in the changes which happened around a year back, so one new laptop is allowed duty free. So passengers 18 years and above. So, one point we should remember, which I think most of you are not concerned about directly, is firearms. So, general free allowance is not applicable to firearms, cartridges of firearms exceeding 50, cigarettes exceeding 100 sticks. So basically, above a certain level, it becomes commercial quantity. So most of you may not regular passengers may not be involved with this. Alcoholic liquor or wine in excess of 2 liters, naturally, gold and silver, any form other than ornaments. Television is a important item which comes, and people are sometimes not aware of the allowances, whether it's applicable or not. So, unused personal effects is a very important item because most of the passengers have some personal jewelry which come under the category of used personal effects. So, used personal effects, including personal jewelry and valuables that passenger or a traveler may reasonably require for satisfying daily necessities of life, is allowed duty free clearance. So most of the time what happens is that the passengers explain at the time of the arrival that this is all used, so it is allowed duty free. So in a situation when the duty free allowances are the exceeded, or when it is exceeded, then that time you need to have only knowledge of three process. So in that case, you should remember that your permissible duty free allowance is rupees 75,000. An Indian resident returns via air bringing personal electronics worth 1 lakh. Their permissible duty free allowance is 75,000. So basically, this situation I brought into just to show that you need to pay the applicable customs duty only on the excess value, 25,000. And the declaration can be well made in the main form that we discussed, the bread and butter form CBD1, the customs baggage declaration form 1. So, and then the payment is also done through online mechanism. You can get the payment done for the excess amount. So this is a very another very important slide basically, and which is of direct relevance to the to all the travelers, is what is a special allowance when when the traveler is going for a long term visit abroad over 1 year. So basically, in the provisions it is mentioned over 1 year. So kindly ensure that it is 1 year, maybe 1 day extra. So it qualifies for all these allowances. So Indian residents or tourists of foreign origin, foreign Indian tourist of Indian origin, Indian residents or tourists of Indian origin who have been residing abroad for over 1 year receive a duty-free allowance for bona fide personal jewelry. So female passengers is allowed up to 40 grams of gold jewelry. 40 grams is allowed, permissible limit for duty-free into India, and male passengers up to 20 grams. So this is just a case study, small example of what we dealt in real life. A female passenger, a female Indian resident returning after living abroad for 2 years. So she brings in 60 grams of gold jewelry for personal use. Is all for personal use. Her duty-free limit, as we know, is 40 grams. So she need to declare yes in question number 17 of CBD1 via the Athithi app, and just pay the customs duty for the excess 20 grams of dutiable gold. And this is important because nowadays what is happening is that if it doesn't comply with this procedure, the penalties are quite steep. The penalties have become very steep as you would compare 30 years back. So this quite a different thing. So penalties have become very steep. So even and the law says that the mens rea is not there basically. So somebody saying that I didn't know, so uh, we would have gone out to help. But then the law doesn't have mens rea in that. The intention. If it is not declared, it's a factual situation. It is not declared. So that is why it becomes very important to know this. And then whatever applicable duties are there, then it is better. It is a better scenario. So pet and plant declarations, basically pet declarations have to go for animal quarantine. That will be done online. The declarations have to be made 7 days before, and the plant has to be cleared by the plant quarantine. Flora, all kind of flora import into India has to be cleared through plant quarantine. So that also gets, you have to declare on the form only on Aditi portal or Aditi web application. But then every other background clearances will be done from the portal itself. So that is not the that is not the requirement. That is not the requirement of the traveler to get it from planned quarantine authorities. He just has to. He or she needs to declare on the application, and then all these clearances will be done in the backend system, and then it will be provided to the passenger. So it's always advisable to do all these applications beforehand, because it involves another regulatory authority. For example, in flora, it is the plant quarantine, and for fauna, it is the animal quarantine. So this is another important slide meant for, regular passengers who are moving. The currency declaration. So currency declaration is a very important aspect for all of you. So currency declaration basically is a form which is called a CDF, currency declaration form. It's in addition to the CBD one. It is appended to the CBD one. An Indian currency exceeding 25,000. Please, you need to only go ahead for declaration of currency only when your Indian currency INR is exceeding 25,000, and foreign currency notes are exceeding 5,000 US dollars or equivalent, if it is euros or any other currency. So aggregate foreign exchange, in case if it is notes and travelers checks, then everything, if it is exceeding 10,000 US dollars or equivalent. So this form is very important, because we have many instances in which if it is not declared, then they have to be detained by the customs authorities on arrival, and there are a lot of detention of all this foreign currency which needs to be returned to the Reserve Bank of India. But this, not only that, it avoids all these detention things, but it is also important for reconversion of unutilized balances upon departure. So if the traveler wants to reconvert it back, then it is very much important that all these declarations have been done, because all this is required for settling of the current account and all these different accounts that are there, which are maintained by the Reserve Bank of India with respect to the foreign currency. So all this data, which is reported to the customs system, flows to the Reserve Bank of India system, to the back-end systems. So this is another very important requirement, which is of daily concern to passengers or travelers, foreign travelers. Export certificate, that is CBD3. So the target, passengers or travelers are residents traveling abroad, and purpose is to declare high value personal effects, cameras and laptops, before leaving India. So this is very important. We always encourage that from the departure side, our Indian passengers, they declare it to avoid disputes, because if they land in different airports. So it's always better that all these certificates are taken online. Earlier they had to, even today also you can go for filling of forms also. Forms are also there. So, but then this is meant for the more convenience. So you can declare all these things online, to declare high value personal effects before leaving India, so that you can get the benefit of it. So validity of this is valid up till until the first arrival back in India, or for 6 months, whichever is earlier. If you arrive earlier, then the export certificate's purpose is over. And then temporary import is that's why I mentioned target. Target is foreign tourists visiting India. The category is different. So foreign tourists visiting India. So I don't think it would be directly applicable to you, but I brought this for your knowledge. So foreign tourists, if you're any foreign tourist visiting India, or your foreign tourist guest visiting India, then the purpose is to allow temporary duty-free import of personal effects needed for the stay. And the requirement is the tourist must re-export these items upon departure. The certificate is checked at the customs before leaving the country. So this is a important slide meant for people who bring in antiques. Antiques basically complies with the local regulations of Archaeological Survey of India. So broadly speaking, more than 100 years, if the artifact is more than 100 years, it is considered to be an antique. So if you go to the main slide, then we see that broadly, in a simple manner, if we discuss what are the main things, if somebody is having antiques, broadly around 100 years or more than 100 years of the age, for example, some artifact of Chola dynasty or some aspect of very olden times. So those all qualify to be an antique. But then one has to be very much cautious that the regulations are there. The other subject matter regulations, for example, for antiques, the subject matter pertains to the Ministry of Culture and Archaeological Survey of India. So they have certain regulations which the customs are bound to implement, being the frontline authority. So the regulations which are required to be fulfilled are they need to be complying with something called the Antiquities and Art Treasuries Act. Any person importing antiquities must ensure that the item was not stolen or illegally alienated. So if you're making the declarations in the customs declaration under Chapter 97 of the customs tariff, antiques exceeding 100 years attract a basic customs duty of 10% plus the social welfare surcharge and 12% IGST. The import the integrated GST. So unaccompanied baggage also you can bring in antiques. Unaccompanied baggage when the passenger has already arrived into India and the baggage is coming at a later date. So if your antiques are arriving as unaccompanied baggage, they must be dispatched within 1 month of your arrival or within a maximum of 1 year with special customs permission. Unaccompanied baggage does not qualify for duty-free allowances and will be taxed at the normal baggage rate. So some basic FAQs, and then we'll end the presentation, and will request any queries. You're most welcome to discuss. So who must file a baggage declaration? So baggage declaration is not meant for all. Only people who have above the permissible limits or free allowances. So who can file a customs declaration on behalf of minor? Suppose a minor, maybe a son or somebody studying abroad is coming. So who can file? The family member can file it. If a passenger has not attained the age of 18 years, the customs baggage declaration may be filed only by a family member or a legal guardian on behalf of the minor. So, can I update my declaration after filing it? Yes. As we discussed, we can update until the actual date and time of arrival into India. What if I am unable to file the declaration electronically? If I am carrying dutiable items or prohibited goods, as we discussed, the manual forms are still applicable. Manual forms are still there. You can always declare it. If for some reason you couldn't declare online, you can always declare on arrival with the manual forms. Do I need to report to the green channel? The passengers who are not carrying dutiable or prohibited goods may use a green channel. Basically, green channel is meant for a fast access, a fast exit, because there is no dutiable item. When must I report to the red channel? Basically, red channel is meant when you have dutiable items, you have declared online, already all the details are filed. The customs also already have all the details which are filed because the officer interface has already got the details. You can make the payments online also. If you want to make the payment on the system, here on arrival, you can make that. And then the clearances can be done. Can two passengers pool their free allowances to clear one expensive article? So it's that is not possible. So that cannot be pooled. So free allowances cannot be pooled for two passengers. So that needs to be maintained. So does weight-based allowance apply to gold bullion? No. Gold or silver in any other form other than ornaments is excluded from free allowances and must be declared. What are personal effects? Basically, are those which a passenger may reasonably require for personal use. Are any goods for commercial purpose covered under personal effects? No. What is the definition? Jewelry. Jewelry basically it's sometimes becomes a point of dispute. So there's a definition under the regulations also. Jewelry refers to articles of adornment ordinarily worn by a person made of gold, silver, platinum, or other such precious metal, whether studded or not. Can I bring large quantities of goods in my baggage? No. Basically, commercial quantities are charged the customs duties. So if I bring jewelry in large quantity for wedding while traveling to India, will it be permitted? Very important question. So generally, we find passengers coming and going in for wedding purposes abroad. So jewelry being carried temporarily for attending any event and to be taken back may be permitted on the basis of temporary import certificate. So this has to be obtained. This may be obtained from customs on arrival. So all these things are meant for your use. So traveler's guide I put in this resource. All everything will be shared to the association. Baggage rules, 2026 notification circulars, Athithi 2.0 user manual, and all the details are there. So from my side, this is a part of my presentation. I welcome any queries or questions, or you would like to ask anything.
The floor is now open for interaction.
I represent Coimbatore manufacturing.
Yes, yes.
Uh, so many customers they go from India or abroad for some of the functions or for tourists. They used to wear large jewelry because it's customary to wear every day. But when they come back, the customs are giving more trouble and telling that it is being brought in abroad, not in India. There are a lot of argument. They have been made to stand for a long time that they are allowing going to go out. Why such situations are there? Or while going from India to any foreign country, it is there in procedure to declare that I am wearing 4 rings and 1 chain and 2 bracelet. Like that, it is there in procedure to declare in front of the customs.
So we discussed all the forms. So CBD1 and all customs package declaration that you should mention it, and all those export certificate, import certificates are there. You should mention it. But the main point that you mentioned is the aspect of confusion arising, and because of which the passenger getting hazard. So that is a point which we need to avoid. Basically, that is why all these declarations are there. If you are able to access all these declarations, the concern that you expressed can be reduced, and ideally should be eliminated.
Sir, while entering into the immigration itself, there should be a counter there to advise us that if you are having any valuable goods while leaving India to some other country, you please declare there. But such question is not there because last week also I went to Vietnam. No one asked me when I came back to Coimbatore also. No one asked anything what we have. So it should be a procedure, no? So it helps the passenger also to know what is the actual procedure in the customs act.
Yeah, very right. Actually, your point is very right. So, a lot of efforts have been made. Your point is well taken. So, what we are doing right now is that in-flight announcements are happening. So, you can check. It has started off late. So, in-flight announcement is Scoot and Air Arabia have started. In-flight announcements means the when the flight is taking off from their respective origin points abroad. So, in-flight announcements are happening.
Sir, when coming back from abroad to India, they have made some announcements. When I am going from India to some other country, our customs
Yeah, the local custom authorities.
Yeah.
So in this, some steps we have already taken, and we are planning to take more and more steps, and more handhold the passengers. You are totally right. So we have instructed the officers to go to the departure terminals, and in addition to the flight announcements which the airline staff do, we have started it off late. So the flight announcement. In addition to that, the banners are also there. But banners, maybe in addition to that, human interface, recorded messages, and that we are making all efforts. You can always reach out. We are always ready to do maximum possible.
The last point, sir, so many foreign travelers who goes from India to some other country, they take a declaration from our shop because we represent the association. We give them the description of the property, value of the property.
Yes.
We associate that it is the gold and it belongs to the particular person. Whether it is legally allowable or accepted by the customs.
So, as you know, you are from the association. There are registered valuers and assayers. So, if it is a registered valuer assayer, generally they are impaneled, as you know. Both the income tax department and other government departments, they look for impaneled valuers and assayers. So, if it is that, then actually it is applicable. You can benefit from that.
But the certificate given by the association will not be accepted.
But if it is registered as if it's already impaneled,
No, we are not.
because what happens is that the departments, including income tax department, the other various other departments, they go ahead for impanelment. So if it is impaneled, then the authorities are duty bound to accept that.
So that the procedure is there.
Yeah, definitely. You should go ahead with that because it will facilitate your customers so that they can avoid the disputes. If it is on the panel or registered assayer or valuer, then it is bound to be accepted.
Why is the government is not accepting the association? Yeah.
You can apply for it. That's what I can say in a positive manner. You should apply for it, and you can find, because there are many registered ones. You can check it out with your fidelity. with professional CAs are also there in this auditorium. You can check out. They are registered valuers. But some process, if the association file I can try, they can also get registered. I mean,
So we have given many certificates like that.
but then one point can be said that the certificate will at least provide some transparency to the authorities to understand what the product is. So it is of some benefit. But then when it comes to the legal aspect, then they may ask whether it's registered value or not. Because if it is a high value transaction, then it may get into dispute. Department may dispute it, or the passenger may dispute it later on.
So better not to issue such certificates from the association to those people.
No, what I suggest is that you can check with the empanelment procedure, the registered valuers, what are they doing, what is the procedure. It will be beneficial that way.
Next. Yes, Sundaresan.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
I'm traveling overseas from Coimbatore at least 5 times in a year. I'd like to share some of the grievances.
Yeah, definitely. Please.
Some of the
Please.
experience of Coimbatore International Airport. Number one, if you take this website of Coimbatore International Airport, the schedule of incoming, outgoing flights, you put the PDF document, which is existed 2023. Latest one is not updated, and it is reaching.
Yeah.
Number one.
Please make a note of it, please. We'll inform the airport authorities also.
And number two, when they are going from Coimbatore Airport, they are treated like a very lovable Indian citizens. When they are entering into Coimbatore Airport, they treat us as Pakistan.
Just keep soup from
Because we have an airport, nearest airport is Cochin and Chennai and Trichy and Coimbatore. I'm telling this is the experience. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
check with the travel agent or fellow travelers as an independent agent.
Definitely, we take your feedback actually. You have felt it, that's why you're sharing. Yeah.
The thing is, the airport like Chennai and Cochin, they are very user friendly. They are not strict on the documents, and sometimes there should be some flexible. And they even the incoming passengers are like our own family members. Whereas the case of Coimbatore and Trichy is very horrible. For example, let me tell you, customs is taking a package, and you are putting a chalk mark which never goes on more than a month in the package, like a big mark you are putting. In spite of that, there is no cross mark. When you are coming to the green channel, your guys are stopping and they are asking to open. There is no point of green channel. There is no point of checking and putting a mark by your side. In spite of that, you are insisting passenger. And you know what they are asking question? Where are you from? Where do you live? Where is your house? Where you went? When you come back? All these questions. The thing is, if you have any skepticism, please open the box. Any duty items we have or not? That's it. All these silly questions they are asking, which is very much hurting us, sir. So please,
Definitely.
ask your own personal, go to our own neighboring city like Cochin. For example, last year I went from Scooty and Singapore Airlines. I went to Siam Reap. When I returned back, even though I lose a couple of thousands money, I told my travel agent, put my return ticket to Cochin. I'm losing a lot of money to travel from Cochin to Coimbatore. But still, while we are taking such an airport is user friendly, the same custom officer of Indian country, their handling is different. Chennai airport people handling is different. The horrible handling of Coimbatore and Trichy, this I want to highlight you. Please educate your people or please make it very friendly with us because our chamber, so many institutions are taking lot of steps for the expansion of Coimbatore Airport.
Definitely.
And even if you are taking the statistics, lot of international lines now they cut short. There is no frequency of airlines like Air Asia and another one more is Scooty. Earlier we had Singapore Airlines, the same Scooty, and we have Indigo, and we have this Air India, and we have even this Sri Lankan Airlines. Now everybody is stopped because frequency of passengers are less because we are getting horrible experience. Even though we lose money, we are going for the long destination like Chennai and Cochin. Please take it, sir.
Definitely.
It's only a suggestion.
Point well taken, please.
Sir, this is a complaint we regularly get in our meetings.
Yeah,
Last few years we have been getting.
definitely. We'll do the
Sir,
best.
good evening, sir.
Is there any mechanism for people like you to change the mindset of your officers? Because they look at passengers as we are all are robbers. No, no. People may not say it, but I travel almost 10 days. Every 10th day I'm traveling abroad. And people in Coimbatore Airport, as my dear friend said, I think Chennai and Cochin, they have got enough incomes. Otherwise, I don't want to elaborate, you know yourself. With Coimbatore, it's not possible. So they treat every passenger as, oh, என்னப்பா இருக்கு எங்கிருந்து வந்திருக்க துறப்பா ultimately right கவனிக்கிறியாப்பா. I'm sorry to say all this, but this is what is happening. So how do you going to address this?
Yeah, that's a very important point actually. And we are doing all best efforts to make it, avoid all these situations. So we can assure you that whatever possible, we are doing it. And in case if you have any grievance, you can reach out to me.
Sir,
Your number, sir.
Yeah,
We'll share the number.
it's already there with the association. So I can assure you that whatever best we are trying to do it, but the point is well taken. So the grievances are there, and we are doing our best to avoid such situations.
So I am Sabrinath, President of the Coimbatore Jewelers Association as well as the President of the Tamil Nadu Jewelers Federation. Sir, Coimbatore is one of the biggest jewelry manufacturing hubs. Sir. We manufacture jewelry and this jewelry is being exported all over the world. But we are not having a proper infrastructure facilities in our airport to export directly from Coimbatore. For that reason, we have to either go to Cochin or Chennai or even sometimes we have to go to Mumbai for not getting the flight connectivity. We have applied, we have told this many times, and we ourselves from our association, we have given training to your officials for evaluations, all those things we have done. In spite of many attempts taken by our association and also by German Jewelry Export Promotion Council, we are not able to export directly from Coimbatore. See, the rates are very, very highly fluctuating, gold rates. So even one day delay in our export, we are losing a lot of money. For that sake only, we are asking connectivity from Coimbatore, but we still know this is not happening, sir.
This point has come to us regularly actually. This is again another genuine issue. So as you very rightly pointed out, a lot of training has been provided by your side to our Indian customs officials also.
All those officials are transferred now. So we have to again give new training to people who are sitting here now.
So one aspect I can say that these are all factual things that you are narrating actually. So that process, in that way, you are educating more of the officers. I can
Might
say.
be, yeah.
But then coming to the main crux of the issue, the crux of the issue is that why you are not able to export from Coimbatore air cargo. That is your main issue.
Yes, yes.
So the one aspect, this has gone to our headquarters also. And what we are trying is that as you know, the main reason is the infrastructure issue.
So we are ready to help in that way also. They asked for a locker facility in the airport. But also with that, we will provide from our association. We can give a locker also if you want. Whatever they were asking for an XRF machine, that also we are ready to provide. Whatever infrastructure you want, we are ready to provide that from our association. You are going to get a revenue. See, you are going to get a revenue in our Coimbatore. So you people should do at a faster rate because it's a highest revenue point.
So I request you that there is a total business case. The business case is well established. There's no dispute about that. So the point is that I request you that to whatever is the status as of now and what do you need again, you can write again to us. We'll request the headquarters what else best can be done.
So again, we have to reach Trichy commissioner for
you can reach through us. Through us.
Okay, because that commissioner is not that much interested in Coimbatore Airport. Because he is heading Coimbatore Airport, I think so. So every time we have to go to Trichy and meet that commissioner, but he is not that much interested in Coimbatore Airport.
But the point is that this region requires that actually. I can say that this region requires that. We have to do our best, both you and us together.
Yes.
So I can suggest that we need to move ahead. We'll,
in whatever way you want support from our association, we are ready to give it.
So I think again we need to press the point in the feedback that I will present to my authorities in Tiruchirappalli. Will mention this also.
Okay.
So our objective is to, if the business expands, good for the region only.
Yes.
It's good for the region actually. There's no doubt in it. So I can assure you that we need to put more efforts
Thank you, sir. I will do it.
together.
Covering of the chamber also will. In fact,
Yes.
we have been regularly requesting that customs that be Coimbatore, not Trichy. Very unfortunate is when
Your officials has to work in the night, sir. That is also a part of your people are also hesitating because they have to work throughout the night.
Additional staff will be posted. That issue, I think, not an issue. You are talking about the staff. Additional staff can get posted. That is not the issue.
Responsibility is more because they have to safeguard the parcel with them in the night, and they have to hand it over to the air cargo while international flights are leaving. Most of them are leaving in the night time.
One thing I can tell you that we have to work out the way of solving this. Whatever help is required, I can assure you, I'm saying it publicly, we will help you out. And we have to solve this because this is important for the region.
Yes.
Day one, I met your president. They have mentioned this point. It's a genuine point actually. I agreed that day also. Whatever best is possible, we'll convince our headquarters also. And they'll be, because they have a wider jurisdiction, coastal Tamil Nadu, various. We are there for the region. We are dedicated for the region. You can reach out to us. We'll even in the feedback for this session that will go to our headquarters, we'll mention this. In addition to that, you can reach out to us. Again, we'll have a word with our authorities there.
Okay.
We have to get this done.
Why don't you make Coimbatore as a? Why are we depending on Trichy, sir? Why not Coimbatore? We made that quarters.
That is a decision of Ministry of Finance.
So
that has happened after the GST thing. GST came into effect in 2017. So there were some administrative requirements. So that is a point actually that is flogging a dead horse.
But Trichy, in which way Trichy's got more brownie points than Coimbatore?
One point I can say that it's an administrative decision. So this point also was raised that day one of my arrival in Coimbatore. So this is a point which is raised why it was shifted to Tiruchirappalli. So that point is now settled actually. We need to be concerned about points which we can implement. This is my genuine answer because if you flog a dead horse, there is no point.
Good evening, sir. I am Damodaran. So nowadays we receive messages on WhatsApp as well as email regarding the any alerts or caution messages or advisories from the airlines. So my suggestion is why not you ask the airlines to share the details regarding the declaration of goods or currencies beyond the limit on WhatsApp and email.
That's a good point actually. We should note and get it done.
So we should also try to get hand carry of the export parcel. This is allowed only in 2 or 3 airports in India. That's not allowed even in Chennai.
That's a
also.
very good point that you have mentioned. So have we raised it because all this is allowed based on DGFT circular?
Yes.
The DGFT circular goes to Department of Revenue. So have we gone through because I'm coming from the board office only.
Okay.
Before this, I posted in the Ministry of Finance. So all this we have dealt in customs policy wing. So have we gone through the stage of getting it? Because there are 2 aspects in this. Wherever any ports are allowed for such, because in my own work experience in the ministry, we had allowed some of the ports for entry for export of automobiles because it's a port restriction. Automobiles.
Okay.
So similarly, this one also. So for that, what happens is that the process is this. The recommendation has to go from the Ministry of Finance to the DGFT. DGFT actually is a policy making for export import. So whichever ports are allowed, have we gone through that process? This is a process because it's not a field decision. We have to understand it has to be done. The ports have to, even Coimbatore CJP is allowed, then only it can happen.
So because of this, we are losing business because even though we are manufacturing the jewelry, we are dependent on someone in Bombay.
So I think this is another very important aspect which my experience of serving in ministry earlier can help you. That's what I'm saying. We need to go the entire process. The ministry process can be shortened because my experience can be shared with you. Okay. I can share my experience. But then we have to go that route because it's not a field decision. Even it's not a Tiruchirappalli's decision, not a headquarters decision.
The finance ministry.
Yes. And that what happens is that the finance ministry through the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs will recommend to the DGFT, which is in Department of Commerce, and immediately they will issue the required notification. So what will happen is at that time CJP will become, those things will become applicable. So we have to go through that process. I can assist you.
Okay, thank you. Sir.
It's allowed already. Then that's another aspect.
It is allowed port, sir, for Coimbatore, but still we are not able to do anything, sir. Even export or import, we find it very
So
difficult.
this point actually, then when it is allowed, then what are the issues? Implementation issue.
Each department says another issue, sir.
No. See,
Sir, if I go
you
to
get
customs-
into the issues matrix, you will reach nowhere. So what I'm trying, so first point that your colleague only told that it is allowed. You please check the factual thing. If it's allowed, then the problem statement is different.
Sir, it is allowed, sir. That is for sure. But the thing is that we are not able to import or we are not able to export. The reason cited was that proper strong room was not there. Strong room was there. Previously, we were exporting, but all of a sudden the export was stopped. I don't know
When
what.
around which year?
Before 5 years back, sir. Before COVID, we were all exporting, sir.
Before COVID, we were exporting, but during the COVID, it was stopped. This is also one of the exporters.
So I think you should raise it. Then it is an operational issue. If he is very much sure about that, if it's not a policy.
Only for very few months.
Sorry?
Very few months we were exporting, and COVID came, after that everything is.
Then this point should be raised actually. Again it should be raised actually. If it's not a policy issue, then it has to be operationally handled by our headquarters or ourselves.
Even import we tried, sir. Import also we got saying that no customs officer is willing to risk their.
No. The question is
cadre.
not about willingness.
Sir, this happened. This
No,
happened.
see, you're right. What you're saying is what you have experienced.
Yes.
But I'm saying that it is not a question of willingness. The question is about if the headquarter directs, then it has to be done. So we have to reach to that situation where it is mandated that it has to be done. It's not cannot be left to the whims and fancies of anybody whether they want to do it or not. So we have to work together. That is what I can say.
Sure, sir. We will work, sir.
Thank you. Any other queries, you please write a mail, we'll send it to Dr. Dhananjay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I thank Dr. Dhananjay IRS for a very brief presentation on the trade facilities, measures taken by the customs, the Athithi website that has been introduced, and all the details of that I would be sharing it in the PPT after getting from the department. One important thing that Dr. Sri Ramaswamy sir was bringing it up was once a company is closed, details of that seminar, I think we'll be arranging it shortly and sharing it with everybody. And I thank Mr. Satish and Sundaram sir for giving us the updates on airport and on the Sundaram sir for the meeting interaction with the CM. And I thank the press for coming here for today's meeting. And with that, I'm closing the remarks. Request all the governing council members, special invitees, and press to join for the dinner that is being hosted by following members. Shri Sarat Chandran, partner, Illuminato Lighting Technologies, Coimbatore. Shri Mani Narayanan, managing director, Messer Cutting Systems India Private Limited. Shri G. Ramaswamy, chartered accountant, Coimbatore. Shri K.S. Balakrishnan, proprietor, Royal Agencies, Coimbatore. Shri R. Ravi, proprietor, Ravi Paper, Tirupur. I thank everybody for joining today's event. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions during the dinner? We can invite.